Wow, thank you for watching here on YouTube Live at Blooming Light at Bloomie's Tribe. If you happen to be logging in live, then you are logging in on, I want to say it is Saturday, September the, possibly the 6th, 2025, and it's approximately 12:09 p.m. and this is going to be Central Standard Time in the United States of the Americas, and this is going to be in Southeast Texas, Beaumont, Texas specifically. But if you're logging in at a later time and date, just thank you for watching. Okay, so here I'm just going to jump straight away into it. If you're not familiar with who I am and my channel, if you're new, then I invite you to look at the description box as well as the links and all of the other videos I've uploaded over the years, combination of my own content as well as others. And that might give you the gist if you're interested in donating to the cause. The cause is being, well, if you want to support what I do, as well as if you want to support the cause of monies that I'm trying to raise for my son and myself, for legal fees, and all the things that come with trying to proceed and moving forward with the RICO case. You can go pro se, and I'm going to start to get a proper legal representation. Because, okay, if you are interested. Okay, if you are interested in the donating to the cause to relocate, so me and my son are in the process of trying to get out of Southeast Texas and trying to get back into the West Coast, and you know, y'all know that that's a lot, you know, for anybody, and so I am attempting to have that be the most smooth transition as it could possibly be, considering all that has happened to us over the last few years. Okay. And the RICO case, you know, that stuff, it is a long process. It's not something that is usually finalized right away, even if something is turned in your favor. Okay. So, you know, I learned a long time ago, you just don't put all the eggs in one basket. That's just not wisdom. You are to always have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Essentially, you're to always have, because banking on one thing would be very disappointing. So I am in the process of all of that, but any of y'all out there who feel guided to do so, the links should be somewhere on the home page. Okay, there's various options. You can do the PayPal or you can do the GoFundMe. I believe I have those links over there. Okay, so now this message in this reading is, well, there is a wealthy man. Who is this mysterious wealthy man? I swear it's this energy that keeps coming up in the collective readings that I'm like, well, who the hell? Who the hell? You know? Anyways, this this wealthy man is coming to realize some truths, you know, is coming to have to accept or see some truths about a situation. Okay, he's dealing with a dark witch. Okay, and let me rephrase that. He is dealing with a distorted one, but he's dealing with one that masquerades as possibly a Christian, as possibly their professing belief system. Okay, and just so you all know out there, that is a standard cover up. Okay, just to help the masses understand that that is a standard persona that they will often choose to wear, because they know that the masses and the systems running currently, that is typically what folks are believing, or at least saying they're believing or practicing in the traditions and values. And so they lean into that in their favor. Okay. So, but in terms of what they are inside and how they actually conduct and live and the secrets, you know what I'm saying? No. Okay. And I'm not referencing like y'all know, the prudish shit that religion has a tendency to want to push off onto people, that it doesn't live up to itself. But I'm not referring to that. Okay, I'm referring to some really sick and insidious shit that people who actually do have a conscious and a heart chakra would possibly vomit. Okay, would be sick. No matter what their belief system is, whether they're, professing to be a Christian or whatever. People that have, a sense of that heart chakra would be like, what? They'll be sick. Okay. And that is what this individual is. They were a part of cults, possibly got kicked out of one or two, decided to go rogue and decided to start making cults of their own because of everything that they learned. Okay. And this individual's obsession with their sibling has reached an all-time high and is shocking. Because the level of the obsession was hidden because of how the person did what they did, okay? Like I said, on the surface, they come off as, possibly a Christian or a spiritualist that's supposed to be of some kind of light. They possibly are very charismatic, or they seem to always, care about everybody and calling family members. They always seem to, it's something like that, okay? That has people kind of blindsided by what they really are and what they really what they're about. So chances are the people that they have grown up with are, like people they went to school with, old associates. Most of those folks are under their spell or under their web and may or may not know that. Okay? Most of them. Because again, this is another life. It's only a select, there's just a select few that actually knows, okay? Everyone else does not. So this person puts spells on all of their friends, all of their family members, any potential suitor, okay? They do this, it's automatic, okay? It's automatic. And it's continual. Yes, sir. And anything that they do for you, this particular energy, that I'm going to give you all the reading here, but anything that they do for you or give you is something attached to it. So their people don't even know that, including the cult that they have fashioned. They have cult members across the country. Okay, it's not just where they live, and it's not going to be in the uniform that you think that is. Okay, the way they've been able to do this kind of stuff is they knew people who knew how to, first and foremost, to start, they knew how to hack. They knew techies. Okay, so that knew how to hack into people's devices and people's accounts. That's one of the ways in which they were able to start doing that and having access to, everything is in our phones and devices and our accounts nowadays. So you all can see how that plays out, right? Okay. So that's how that started, in terms of them being able to do that. And then, behind the scene, they will then start to network or attempt to network as they're watching everything. That is how then they'll attempt to go in and do their deal and so forth. Okay? This person has a thirst for clout. Okay, this is how they've been their whole life, though. Okay, a thirst for clout, a thirst for power, a thirst for acclaim and fame and a name, a thirst. And there's nothing wrong with wanting better and more for yourself. That's not what the issue is with whoever these collective toxic energies are. It's the magnitude, how badly and how far and low, okay, that they are willing to go for it. Hold on one second. Okay, so, you know, so when you're like that, when you're a clout chaser, you know, and you're power hungry and you know, you're going to try to schmooze your way into spaces where you can get some access to some famous motherfuckers. Where, where you can get some access, baby. But see, but before you do that, anyway, let me get off of that because I'm getting off track. Okay. This person's obsession with their sibling has reached a criminally insane high. A criminally depraved, insane high. But the problem is no one see it or saw it. And no one wanted to believe it. Because they also put on a persona as if they care about this very sibling, or as if they, you see what I'm saying, they care, or that they've always tried to help, or they don't understand. So they're wearing a face, a mask. This is also a decoy. And this is why we talk so much about covert stuff, because this is the stuff that's more problematic. The things that are easy and obvious to see is not, you don't even have to be smart. Somebody with special needs could be, you know, be able to line that up and point that out when shit is that blatantly obvious. The problem is they hid it, and then they had too many of their minions willing to co-sign their bullshit for too long. That's just as simple as that. Okay? Whoever this wealthy person is must have also been watching this sibling that they're obsessed with. The sibling don't know this wealthy person. Okay? That's the irony. They don't know the wealthy person. They hell, they just surviving, bitch. They just surviving and you know, making the best of life situations so they can keep on keeping on. That essentially, that's what all of their energy is. Like, shit, Chantel, bitch, somebody come forward. That's where they have to live. Okay. But the sibling, which is the collective. Okay, the collective that's being stalked by their sibling. Okay. They know that they know. They themselves did not know for a long time how bad it was up until recent years. Okay. It started to become clearer and clearer and clearer over time. You know, initially when they tried to connect with them, stay with them and be around them, that's where it was really kind of catapulted. Like, okay, this is, okay. And then after, when they finally decided to go no contact, and then because they call it post no contact abuse in the behavioral health industry, that's what they call it for narcissistic survivors. It's like, yeah, there is a such thing as post. It's a such thing. So it don't end with you just cut people off and move on with your life. If you're dealing with something like that, in normal situations, it does. But when you're dealing with something like that, no, that's when the post abuse kicks into full gear. Because how dare you get away? How dare you get away? And how dare you not be totally destroyed as planned? How dare you be okay and I'm not in your life and I can't get no benefit from it? How dare you, in spite of the rumors and all the things I've done to you to humiliate you, to tear you down, to make sure nobody saw you properly, and to fuck up everything I could, how dare you? Actually still be okay. So I have to employ now, I got to narcissists unite. I have to send out my narc signal. To ensure the destruction of you. How dare you have a boundary? How dare you end things? How dare you not allow me access? How dare you tell the truth about what I've done to you? How dare you speak of it? You know someone is obsessed. You know it's a whole nother level of obsession when somebody has to leave a state. See, this is what's going to slap people in the face at some point, even if it's too late for them. It's going to eventually slap a whole lot of motherfuckers hard, whether they want it to or not. You know somebody got to have a whole nother level of obsession if somebody leave a whole state, not just one state over, not just something that anybody can get to within an hour, or two. From one coast to the other one. And the person has to cut off everybody that's connected to that person. That's extreme, isn't it? It's extreme. But look, it's a reason for that. And this is coming out. Because of that obsession, that person's obsession, then you have to cut off all things basically connected to it. Because whether or not the folks understand the magnitude of who that person is and what's actually going on, the truth is still the truth. It's a whole nother level of obsession when someone leaves a state, basically almost virtually goes off the map, with the exception of what it is they're doing in their lives and creating and stuff like that. Cut everyone off. And this person and whoever, other people involved, that's a whole nother level of stalking. Most people get over shit. You know, we all have our crazy seasons. Don't worry, we're gonna get into the shiznit. Even if I have to end this one and start again just to keep them separate, I do have the read here. It's right here, and that's how I know that that wealthy man is embarrassed, because he feel like this woman he been dealing with, whatever she is to him, that he feels like at this point he feels like she's actually really mean. And maybe he thought she was trying to cloak under her sibling's energy. That's what this was, a destiny swap. She wants the world to see the sibling at what is true of her, and want the world to see her in terms of what's true of the collective. That's what she's been doing. He feels like she's mean, and had him convinced that it was the other way around. He was convinced it was the other way around. Because the collective speaking out and, you know, being upset and, you know, all the things that's being done, and that ignorance about shit is why people fall for that. But whatever has happened, because something has happened here of late, I don't know if he's gotten a hold of something, some proof, I don't know, but it's something where now it's like, okay, this she's actually mean, and this is serious. This is actually serious. This is not even cute. It's not a joke. It's not lightweight. He may feel embarrassed because, you know, he actually believed it was the other way around. And he could have been one of the main ones, like singing her praises and pumping her up and taking up for her, and you know, bailing her out, or whatever the case. He could have been one of the main players in that. And with the stuff coming out, it's like, okay, this is embarrassing, because I'm one of the main ones saying shit and talking, you know, using my influence, because I have influence, and people, because of who I am, just because of that, people are going go with that, going to roll with that, going to believe that, even though that's stupid as fuck, but that's just the way this world is. Child. When someone has to see, this is how this has happened in terms of the collective moving from one state, and them having their hand in it from the beginning is also behind the scene. Okay, that's something else that was kept from everyone. They had a hand in it from the beginning. And it was all in the name, in part, of being able to, they felt like, you know, they wanted the collective out of the way, okay, so they can step into their energy. But it was also in part to keep something, because this person is responsible from stealing something. Listen, I'm running out of words just because of how many things this person is responsible for. Okay, in terms of the collective. They are responsible for literal, okay? They're responsible for literal theft, literal stealing. And again, I need to specify, we're not talking about small time shit. We're talking about something serious. They're responsible for stealing actual major things that was either given or donated or gifted or whatever to the collective and their children, period. That's one thing for sure. A house, a property, some monies, and they wanted to be able to hold on to that and keep all of that a secret. And one of the ways that that was going to work best was get the collective and their children off in the country and then pay other people to do their dirty work. And that is exactly what they did. That's another level of obsession with trying to control and keep something that doesn't belong to you, trying to erase the evidence of it, and trying to basically torture and abuse somebody. That's another level of obsession. When the person has to go, they gonna outsource, nigga. They gonna outsource this shit. They gonna do this shit by proxy. So they paid people in the state that the collective relocated to from the beginning. And and since then, from the beginning and up to the moment I'm speaking. And it was easy to do in this case. The particular state, the particular location of the state, it was very easy to do. They used the collective's lovers, their exes, their lovers, as, in part, like as an initial, one second here. As an initial link. Okay, anybody that the collective been with, they're haters, basically. Okay, and that's crooks, like it gets like, huh? But that, yeah. Then, since they were able to surveillance from the beginning, since they were able to do that and have access from the beginning, then it makes it simple. It's not as complicated as it seems when you look at it from the back end. It makes it easy to do. They're already building connections and relationships with these individuals and making the offers. In order to watch their sibling, what they're doing, what they got, who they're with, how, they pay people to tie them up, basically, like attempt to like delay them, attempt to distract them, make things a challenge more than it naturally would be, cause issues. And that's on the physical side, basically harass, be mean, vandalize to a degree, like basically the bullying energy through proxy. They outsourced it. On the energetic and spiritual side, then they paid people to do all sorts of nasty spell work. Now, this is where it escalates. They paid people to put shit in food, They paid people to offer the collective things that were tainted. They paid people to do spell work around the clock as they started training up their own coven or seeking out people. They paid people to get access to the collective things so that they can have, you know, up to date, fresh shit to work with. I have to say all of this because the obsession levels need to be understood. Because we hear the word that somebody's obsessed, and we just kind of take it like, oh, okay, no, we need to understand the seriousness. So whether that be the collective's trash, anything in their units or anywhere they are, and this is a part of the reason why they always target, you know, government programs, property managers, landlords, and the residents that's near the collective. Because that's where you're going to have the most access. Hold on one second. And as I was saying, when the collective go on their social medias, these whores do their spell work. These distorted retards do their ritual work every time the collectives do their social medias. Because again, they're stalking social media, they're stalking physically, and all of these realms. Now, it's every time, it's every day. They were doing it now. I just called them. And they're going to pay. They're already paying, but they're going to continue to pay. And I made it clear just a few moments ago as I paused. They're going to pay hard. But back to what I'm saying. So they pay people to do spell work around the clock. They pay people to harass, do all sorts of shit. Okay, and how you say they're doing it because they had investors, much possibly like this one wealthy man, as well as all the other things in which they've been doing that people don't know that they've been doing. And I'm going to talk about that on another video to link some deaths that's going to start to make sense to some of you out there. Yes, doing spell work in disabled people's energies. That's correct. These nasty core bags, okay? These empty vessels. Absolutely. And have the audacity. They're obsessed with trying to entrap the collective. They're obsessed with trying to entrap the collective. They have the audacity. And this person, this sibling of the collective is a part of that. When all these motherfuckers should be locked up and studied somewhere. Trying to provoke the collective to do things so that they can call the cops. They better not ever do that shit again. They bet not. On some bogus shit. Like we the stalkers and shit. Like when they bet not and bet not now another. Now another distorted cop bet not even go for it. Bet not. They better bet not. Call themselves punking somebody. Call themselves intimidating somebody. The criminals want to call the cops. Ain't that about a bitch? This person, this obsessed individual has been working these types of angles and manipulating shit and triangulating motherfuckers and all that for a very long time. And they schmooze their way around people who got some money or some influence or something like that. They kiss the ass of people. They do, they come off as, let me show you, what I can do. And they get a lot of people pulled in and hooked, that way. So this person has basically infiltrated their sibling's life behind the scene and kept it a secret. And only those that have been participating with that are aware of it. So it wouldn't matter what this sibling, the collective, would do because this person had infiltrated everything. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter where they moved. It wouldn't matter if they cut off everybody because they had infiltrated everything. They're in their accounts, they're in their devices. And when they find out what they find out, then they go to these various particular places. They start doing spell work on these people and places. to get them to be willing. And simple minds are easy. The spell work works very well and very successfully on those types of individuals. So they've got all these people to around the clock be a problem for the collective. Spread around the reputation so that even if they were to get out there and try to do all the things that they're already preemptively sabotaged, but so they can then turn around and say, see, this person is what I told you. See, this person is lazy. This person doesn't want to this and don't want to that. But they're not telling. This person went as far as to, if you want to fast forward, as far as to find out who lived above their relative. That's how far they were willing to go, because they wanted to get that close. They wanted to have that kind of access. They went as far as to either try to work with folks to put their relative in a particular unit that would be under their cult members, and or they went as far as to find out who that was so that they can recruit and work their workings and do their shit around the clock, sitting on top of the collective. Walking past, up and down, you know, when you have that kind of proximity, then you get to have that kind of around the clock access. Every time you walk up and pass and down the stairs, every time you walk, you know, blase by the door, every time you walk through the parking lot, every time, you know, walking around their patios and all that shit. That's what this motherfucker been doing. Meanwhile, anytime anybody would come to them, they would play this game. I don't even know. She's crazy. They're crazy. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know where they are. They're way over. Like, that's the little fake innocent game they've been playing with everybody. I don't know. And if this person started traveling, then they've been doing this in secret. So they've been, you know, kind of lurking around. They might be one of the weirdos, you know what I'm saying, in the dark when they were traveling around here lurking. That's the level of their obsession. And if it's not them themselves, then it's one of the minions they hired, i.e. upstairs. And their people. And all those that are collabing together with a common goal. So higher energies are coming in to make sure that all this corruption and all this ignorance and all of this willful blindness, because it's inconvenient and uncomfortable to have to face the ugly truth that this motherfucker is toxic. These toxic energies wanted to be so badly that their sibling is jealous of them, and it's never been that. It's always been the other way around. I'm willing to bet you that whoever her new friends are, their new coven, their recruitees, whatever, I can guarantee you, if I were to pull up some stuff right now, because I got some shit now. If I were to pull up some stuff right now in terms of her, from some years ago, 2018, 2019, 27. Though if I were to pull up something, I bet you most of her coven members don't know that. Because they're living in a fantasy, they're in a delusion. They're trying to perpetuate like they've just been this angel, or they've been this, whatever they think they are. They ain't telling these motherfuckers like, yeah, I was about 300 pounds. I was almost fucking 300 pounds, bitch. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's the point that I'm making. Because that was an issue that they struggled with until they started, getting Johns to help pay for all their surgeries. Yes, so gastric bypass, liposuction, ass injections, not that there's anything wrong with that, but here's my point. People don't know. And they're trying to perpetuate this story that's just not true. And now here's why it's going to get interesting, because the collective of people have tried to go to authorities. They have tried telling people, and everybody look glazed over by the fucking eyes and shit like they're dead. They have told folks, listen, from the beginning, the collective have told people from the fucking beginning. So that's why it's going to be some major level trouble for people, because, this person tries to inform you all and let you all know, and you just sit there. Ciao. Anywho, so I think I'm gonna end this one, and then I'm gonna come back because I have the spread out here. So I've been here almost an hour. So I think I want to end this. I'm gonna leave the reading out, and we're gonna possibly maybe expound on it. But it's some powerful energy out here. It's on and cracking lacking. On the side of the feminine, You got some supportive energy here because I wanted to know the good shit as well. So it says here, respect, respect, respect. Standing up for yourself has gained respect. You damn straight. I have here Wonder Woman effect, the lasso of truth. You getting down to the bottom of it if it kills a few motherfuckers on the way. It says, it says bold and beautiful, comforted by the animal kingdom, spirit animals. You're being cleared from the past narcissistic, toxic folks and groups. That's in progress. We do have a name Eric coming out. Then we have freedom from these dark forces. We've got karmics are being dumped and turned down. We've got a name Karen. We've got, there's a masculine somewhere that is getting clean and sober in isolation, healing, or something to do with a masculine that couldn't heal. We'll see. We have water signs. We have telekinesis. Maybe y'all are tapping into that. Oh, shit. We have Harlequin effect. It says shadow energy. Feminine shadow energy is defeating her enemies. And then we have Trinity effect. Matrix resurrection. You pissed because they used kids. That's the last scene of, one of the last scenes of that movie is she was upset with the so-called therapist that was so-called helping Neo with his so-called mental issues, giving him so-called medication, knowing full fucking well what the fuck was going on. And to fuck with Trinity, you know, in that movie, you know, to keep her kind of in the blue pill, in the illusion, in the karmic loop, in the Saturn moon, you know, whatever, to keep her there, they used her love against her. They use children. So feminine, you may be pissed first and foremost what they did to your child. And what they did to them also as a way of slowing you down. Not just what they did, the sick shit they did to them, which is enough, which was bad enough. But also what they did through them to slow you down because of your love for your child. So you fucking shit up. You're at the end of the movie with that card coming out. She cut that nigga's throat. Pa, nigga. That, your useless throat, that's what's fucking with kids. Sicko. You fucking some shit up now. You at the end of the movie. You at the end of this. You finna fuck some shit up. Good and plenty. You and your team all the way. It's like, this is some sick shit. And it's enough already. You've been quiet. You've been patient. I mean, all these things folks don't know. They don't know shit. People just, they don't know. You done been quiet, you done been patient, you done took an L, you a champ. You done let go of shit, walk away, you said, fuck it. I am, motherfucker. Fuck it, I'll go it alone. I'll lead it. They thirsty. Let these thirsty hoes and niggas. Fuck it. Let these thirsty hoes and niggas, let them. They thieves. They gonna always be thieves. They were born thieves. They gonna die thieves. Let them. Okay. Ancestors like, no. Maybe that's why some stuff is happening now, because too willing to let it go. And it's like, no, we're not. Fuck that. Because you know what? It'll never end. They gonna hoover your ass around the fucking universe until we fuck these motherfuckers up good and plenty. And a part of that is getting their ass exposed. Because until you go ahead and nip this shit, and so you gonna move, you gonna move, and they whole ass is still all gonna be all up in the peripheral. Infiltrating shit. So now we gotta expose any corruption in businesses and governments involved, and we gotta expose this hoe and they people, bitch. As simple as that. One way or the other. Okay. Woo. But so yeah, there's beautiful energy coming out for y'all. There's something here. Bold and beautiful. Because that's a part of all like these attacks is, you know, who do you think you are? Who do they think they are? What the fuck you mean, bitch? The fuck you mean, nigga? Who the fuck you? See, that's that vibration that's finna to go loud with me. Who the fuck you? Who the fuck y'all think you are? You empty sacks of skin. For realsies. For realsies, it's at that level now. Because again, how much, you know, it's only so much. Life is a, you know, it's a box of chocolates, and you know, life is. It's only so many catchphrases you willing to tolerate and hear. When you know full well of your capabilities and your dedication and your strength, and when you know full well that there is more things at play here. So you get to a phase where it's like, look, see, they fucking themselves. It didn't even have to come here. It didn't even have to. They did this. Their obsession did this. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Their obsession did this. Because not that it would have been okay, but they could have gotten away scot-free, scot-clean. They could have got away scot-free and scot-clean with, you know, whatever monies that they had stolen or whatever property, whatever the original, you know, shit is. They may have, if they hadn't been full of pride, arrogance, pretension, entitlement. If they hadn't persisted with following you around, collective the universe, employing people to do shit to you. So now they taking people out with them. And that's why I've said this for years, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's like, They taking people out with them. Because whoever they recruit, whoever get on with this, gets what they get. And it's simple as that. And regarding on the collective scale, regarding the ones that's above the collective, because again, that was a part of one of their more elaborate, they wanted to get even closer to call themselves making sure some shit. Now, check this out. For that, There are surprises in the making. Let's just say that.